Okay, so I did a video about places I can find agreement with MAGA followers. Let me move on to places I can find agreement with people from the left. Liberals, Democrats, progressives, whatever you want to call them or what they want to call themselves. I'm standing in a park that's made possible and saved by people with a liberal perspective who value nature, land, conservation. And I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to the left for this persistent reminder over many years that we live in a world that's not just a human world. It's a natural world with trees and rivers and lakes and oceans and ducks and geese and bear and little tiny thrushes that we don't even know are there in the woods. I'm grateful for that greater awareness of the world around us. And I'm grateful for all the ways that the left and the liberals over the years have fought to preserve this. I'm grateful to the left for this steadfast commitment to including everyone in our culture. That there is no one at the realest, deepest level, there is no one who is an other, someone who's different from us, someone who we can set ourselves apart from. Just like in these woods, everything is connected. There's no trees without the water. There's no wildlife without the plants and the smaller fish and wildlife that support that wildlife. I'm grateful that part of the progressive liberal tradition has been to honor every one of us, even the so-called least among us, whatever that means, but that there's this sense of inclusion and honoring the diversity and the differences and the effort to make a space for everyone to be who and what we are. I'm grateful to liberals for this ongoing commitment to fairness and justice, that everyone in a culture deserves an honest shot at a good life, at a life where they can sustain themselves, where they can work and get a livable wage. I'm grateful to the progressive left democratic coalition that fights for justice and a viable, livable lifestyle for everyone. I'm grateful to the liberal tradition for their commitment to peace. And all of these things, there's differences, there's many differences and different kinds of liberals and progressives and different belief systems. But so I'm speaking in generalized terms that are, of course, not going to be perfect. But I'm grateful for this historical commitment to peace and to resolving conflicts in peaceful ways, to not just imposing on our will on another culture or another group or another part of the world, but to finding peaceful resolution. So I'm grateful to the progressives, to the liberals for that, and to this, I guess that it can all be kind of summarized in this generalized commitment to, well, I should say one thing. I'm grateful to the progressive for the commitment to the environment, commitment to creating a viable place for all of us and all living things to live for on into perpetuity. I'm grateful to the progressives who have stood up to greediness and corporate interests that just want to consume the natural world and exploit it for our own benefit. I'm grateful for the liberal, progressive, democratic traditions that have fought against that and fought for more sustainable ways of life. So back to what I was saying a moment ago, in general, I'm just grateful to this commitment for a life that, even with all the imperfections and biases of the progressives and of humans in general, there's this commitment to a unified life where everyone gets to be here, where all of life gets to express itself, that this river that's flowing by there beyond me gets to be there and gets to be safe, and it's been cleaned up by the efforts of a lot of liberal, progressive conservation groups. So I'm grateful for this overall sense of the beauty and the wonder of life, and that web of life, in order to survive and to thrive and to continue to nourish us and nourish itself, needs to be valued and needs to be even fought for. So those are just some of the ways that I honor and am grateful for what the liberals and progressives bring to the table. If you didn't see it, I previously did a video about how I appreciate and honor what MAGA followers are bringing to the table. And so I wanted to follow it up with this one. And I don't know yet what I'll do yet. I never know in advance, but I may next. I wanted to start with the things that I appreciate about everyone, even though I don't identify as MAGA or progressive or moderate or any particular identity, either political or otherwise. I wanted to start by honoring what everyone brings to the table as best I can, and so that we can perhaps begin a different kind of conversation with a certain respect, maybe grudging respect to begin with, but a certain respect that all of us are doing the best we can. All of us are trying to bring our experience and our wisdom to the table, however clumsy it may be, however offensive it may be sometimes, however ineffective, however hurtful. We're doing our best. And if we can begin, and I don't mean to say that in a Pollyanna way, we're all doing best, so we just need to be nicer to each other. It's not like that. But on a deeper level, if we can begin to find the places where we do honor the wisdom and the truth that each one of us are bringing to the table, maybe that can be the beginning of a more humble conversation that includes all of us, all of our wisdom, all of our perspective, all of the strengths that we bring to the table. And I may next do a couple of videos about where I see both the followers of MAGA and the progressive, liberal, democratic community kind of losing their way from my perspective. But I wanted to start with this. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any comments about this, or if it resonates with you, or if you disagree with what I'm saying here, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll be back soon, and feel free to join me if you wish. Thanks for coming.